Even a bad review is a good review because somebody will give you a bad review and they'll explain exactly what they didn't like. But some other person might come along and go, oh, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
That's true. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Queerprenuers Unleashed. I'm your host, Dustyn Baulkham, pronouns he, him, and I'm currently residing on the traditional ancestral territory of the Okanagan Silk people. And today I'm thrilled to welcome my friend Taysha. Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's great to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually been a while since I've seen you, since the summer during Pride.
Yeah, during Pride. Yeah, the craziness of Pride.
Yeah, where you get to reminisce with people you sometimes haven't seen in a while, and which is always great to see a friendly face.
Yeah, I didn't even get over to see you. I was full on into that whole thing with the
No, but that's
books.
good. It was a busy Pride festival. It was a good day. And I got to get your first book, which I've now on the third one, right? It's the third one? Fourth one?
Yes, that's the
Third
third
one,
one. Yeah.
which we're going to dig into in a bit, but I want to chat a bit about you personally. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name's Taysha, of course, and I have three different pen names: Lee Jarrett, JT Fader, and Gavin E. Black. My Lee Jarrett ones is my contemporary romances. JT Fader is my fantasy and paranormal, and Gavin E. Black is my gay erotica stuff. And I'm living in Victoria now. I lived in Kelowna for 18 years, but I've moved out here to the beautiful Vancouver Island. So I've been here for 4 years and just loving it here. And I've just been busy writing.
That's awesome. And how do you identify?
That can be complicated.
Okay.
Most times it's she, he, but sometimes I'll do she, he, they,
Okay.
just depending on the day.
That's fair. Sexual gender fluid.
Yeah,
Sometimes
absolutely.
we feel different. I think, wasn't it Shawn Mendes just talked about that recently in one of his
Oh, did he?
concerts. Yeah, there
Oh,
was a whole thing about it because of one of his. I've only caught headlines. I didn't go too far into it and seen clips on social, but
right,
because I think there was some lyrics in one of his songs that people were like questioning him, and so we talked about. I'm
right.
still figuring out. I don't fully know,
Good for
which
him.
I think is perfect. How long has it been since you came out?
Oh, 15 years?
Okay.
20 years? Something like that. Yeah, it's when I started, it's when I fell in love with my best friend.
Right.
I contacted my parents and I said to them that I'd fallen in love and it's my best friend's. And I told her that, or told them that it was a woman. And their response was, oh, we were wondering what was making you so happy. So,
You couldn't really get a better response from them, could you?
no, yeah. But I should have known that with my parents. They had a
Yeah.
lot of gay friends the whole time I was growing up. But
And
it's
how
still
was how
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially because I know you're previously married to a man and you've got
Yeah.
kids. And so, how did everyone
Hmm.
else take the news?
Not surprised. My ex-husband had a little bit of trouble with it, but my kids were like, yeah, okay. Just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think enough people out there can have that same story and that
Hmm.
level of just cool. We still love you, right? It's you're still you,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't
which is great.
change.
Yeah, I always like to ask how, or not how. What did I just? I lost my thought here. What's something unique and about you that people might not know?
I did a short stint as a drag liaison, so that's
What
something
was?
people might not know.
I
It
don't
was a
even know if
very short stint.
I knew that.
Yeah, because it was during COVID, and every time I booked something, we had to cancel, and because the rules kept changing, and I don't know, it just didn't pan out. And then by the time things started to settle out, they decided to go with somebody that was actually in the drag community because they had closer links to everyone.
That was here, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was in Victoria. Yeah,
Oh, was it Victoria? Oh,
yeah,
that's right. It was with FOD, right?
yeah.
That's right. Now it's coming back in memory. Those were also my drinking days, so sometimes things are a little blurry.
Fuzzy.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and chat a bit more about your business and being an author. How did it come about, becoming an author?
Oh, I always wrote stories as a kid. That was a big thing for me. And I daydreamed a lot. got myself in a lot of trouble over the years when I was younger. But then that went away as I was an adult, and especially having kids and whatnot. And it was when the kids were older teenagers, and I ended up on disability, and I was bored out of my mind. And I sat down on my bed with my laptop and just started writing. And that was 14 years ago, and I just haven't stopped.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And what I know you've had some other careers prior to going full time into being an author. What did you do before?
I spent 22 years working in accounting
Okay.
and bookkeeping and
Yeah.
developing accounting software. I did 4 years as a care aide because I got sick of sitting behind a computer and I wanted to do something different. I've worked in bankruptcy. Yeah, I've done a few things, but mostly it was the accounting that, and I mean, I'm still doing the accounting, obviously,
Right.
because I have my own business. So if you add it all up, I've been using accounting software for 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just a
I
few.
know, right?
That's like when accounting or in software probably really just was starting.
Well, that's how I met my ex-husband, is he was writing the accounting software for the company I was working for, and it was on an old System 34, an old IBM, one of those ones that took an entire room
Yeah.
and needed an air conditioner in there because the thing would overheat. It's just Goliath.
And now you can get them in these little tiny boxes, like the new ones that just came out this week from Apple.
Yeah.
And what would you say has been your biggest challenge so far, like on your entrepreneur and author journey?
Just getting my skills up to date because I hadn't written since university.
Okay.
And I have probably, I don't know, more than 30 writing craft books. And just getting my skills up to date that was a challenge.
Yeah. And like
Took a
getting
lot of
started.
work.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
now today that you got three different pen names and a bunch of books. I don't even, how many books do you have out now?
73.
Jesus. I knew there was lots, but
Okay, I have probably 20 novels, probably 30 novellas, and then the rest of them are short stories. And the short
okay.
stories are the gay erotica,
Okay.
and I actually have those on a publication on Substack.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what, for someone who doesn't know, what's the difference between a novel and a novella?
The length, a novella caps out at 40,000 and a novel caps out around 90,000 typically, or 65 or somewhere in there.
And that's words you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I knew that, but
Thousand
not
words,
everyone
yeah.
will. And the newest one that came out, which I have beside me here because I got a copy, which I would like say I'm about, I think, two chapters. Oh, yeah, just I'm finished the first two chapters. How many words would be in a book like that?
I think that one's 72,000.
Okay, so it's a full novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's five or six in this series, I forget.
Four.
Four.
Yeah, it revolves around four friends.
And didn't you just tease out some surprise? I haven't seen what the surprise is yet.
Oh, yes. I have commissioned an artist, and
Oh,
he is going to do a sketch. He probably throw some watercolor in there and stuff. He's a fabulous artist. His name's Josh Cully,
okay.
and he's going to create a picture of the four guys sitting around the table in the pub that they all meet at.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I'll do something with that. I'll set up prizes or something, and I'll send out prints of that.
You don't surprise sell prints,
Yeah,
right?
I could do that. I don't have a storefront. That's the thing.
Okay.
Haven't jumped into the storefront business.
Square, you could do something for free, a basic like landing page. And then there's no upfront fees for using Square. It would just be the credit card transactions that actually go through. So it could be something like that
Yeah.
simple. And it's just you give them a link and say, okay, you have to go to this page to buy. And then you just have to figure, probably do like a flat rate shipping would be the easiest way for
Yeah,
Canada versus US kind of thing. So I don't know, just a thought
exactly. Yeah.
with fans that are enjoying it. And especially having a watercolor would look beautiful on the full
Yeah.
book. So
Oh, he
that's
just
exciting.
does
That's
just
great.
fabulous work.
Yeah. Where's he based out of?
He's in Victoria,
Okay.
so
Even
I'm
better.
using a local author. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, especially because the book's all based around Victoria, or the series is
It
based there.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know this is a question I was going and then we went off, but so you talked about challenges when you first started getting back in and skill sets. And now today, what would you see as your biggest challenge?
Marketing. It's the marketing hat that gets me. It's just
Yeah.
yes, it's just it takes so much time and it's constantly changing and just there's new types of images, there's trends, and there's just it's just insane trying to keep up. I had a personal assistant for a while,
Okay.
but she wasn't doing as much as what I wanted her to for the price. But to get someone to do everything that I need someone to do is about 500 US a month, and I just don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have some virtual assistants that help me on a lot of stuff. Two, one does editing, some editing, and one does some posting and a bunch of other admin work. And definitely a lot more cost effective than having someone here. But I can totally
Yeah.
appreciate what you say about the cost of it because it's not
Yeah.
cheap, and it is, you're right, it's time consuming because I've been doing a lot of it lately because I've been scaling back on some of my expenses, and one of those happened to be the agency I was working with. And
Okay.
so yeah, it takes time. Excuse me.
Yeah, they do a fabulous job in everything that they cover off. It would just
Yeah.
be amazing. I'd just be able to focus entirely on writing.
Yeah.
But no, I would say I spend probably 30% of my time doing marketing.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's pretty common, right? Like it takes a lot, and because of all the way the algorithms work and everything today, like it's hard to be upfront in front of people and
Hmm.
spend some money advertising, then they like you more because you're actually giving them money. But if you don't,
Yeah.
sometimes they almost penalize you.
Yeah. No kidding. We won't
But
say the Amazon word.
that's how you get a lot of your books out there, is it not?
It is. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
switched all to Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
It makes me more money. So
And that's it.
that's where
Sometimes
I'm
an
at.
entrepreneur, right? Like you got to utilize those big corporate systems because there's an
Yeah.
economy of scale factor to them too,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, they treat us like garbage authors. They're constantly shutting down people's accounts for the stupidest reasons.
Okay.
A few months back, they wanted me to provide licenses for the entire series of covers, the stock photos. They
Yeah.
wanted the licenses for all of them, so I have to go scrambling, and they want it within 24 hours.
Oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah, you have most of them, but some of them you have to ask the stock photo site for.
Right.
So it takes them a while to get back to you, and it's just like this absolute panic, and they just do this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. One, I think, and not that I can speak in their behalf, but I'm sure they also get flack for some of that too, right? And I'm sure there's
Hmm.
lots of authors out there who try and skirt around it, right, and just steal stuff. So you
Yeah.
got to make sure
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
actually yours.
Yeah, people are using AI for book covers now too, and that's not that's frowned upon. You can't provide the license for something like that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's in. I know there's like it's a totally different discussion now with AI and how it's
Hmm.
going, and I use it for a lot of aspects. I don't get any images or videos created with it. I get editing done by
Right,
it, or at least
right.
help streamline the process. It takes what would probably take me 3 or 4 hours, and it does it in 10 minutes. Like, how do you like compete with that?
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
yeah.
way. And yes, it's not perfect by any means, but I can also get a lot of reels and stuff cut from these videos in the matter of 5 minutes. I can and then I go through
Hmm.
and finesse them and tweak them and add a bit or remove a bit. But at
Yeah.
least for me, is this the challenge is that first step of getting it done. And so once it's started,
Yeah.
it's just so much easier.
There's definitely a place for it.
Yeah.
The Amazon is being inundated with people using AI to write books.
Right.
And that is messing things up because they use AI to write the books, they use AI to create the covers, and then they buy likes. So these books go up. Within a day or two, they have 1,500 five-star reviews. It
Wow.
muddies the waters, something terrible.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised either, just based on what I see out there.
Yeah.
So in all your journey of writing the last couple of years, do you have a moment or two that's like really stands out as a highlight for being like a success story or an achievement that you've done?
Well, there's when I first started to write male romance, because it was when I sat down in my bed that day and started writing these characters that had been in my head since I was a teenager. And I'm just cruising along writing, and I'm thinking, wait a second, these two are attracted to each other. So I just went with it. I hadn't
Yeah.
intended to write male
Yeah.
romances, but it just happened.
Sometimes that's where the magic works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what else? I feel like there was something we talked about. There was like a milestone you'd reached recently in terms of it was number of books, or we talked 73 in
Hmm.
total stories, but I don't know if there's anything more recent that too that really sticks out for you.
Not really.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah.
All good. I'll talk a bit about the queer community and how have you found the queer community in terms of like support for your work?
The only interaction I've had with the queer community with the books is that Victoria Pride Festival. That's the first time I've actually been out in front of people in my community.
Yeah.
And the response was really good. A lot of people, I had the QR code at the front of my table, and a lot of people scanned that so that they could then go and buy ebooks and follow me and do whatever,
Yeah.
because they were quite surprised when I told them I was a local author. So that caught people by surprise for sure. And also
Yeah.
that a lot of my books are based in either Victoria or Kelowna.
Yeah.
So that was good. I also they have prize packages at Vicious Poodle for their
Okay.
bingo nights,
Yeah.
and managed to get into some of those with printing off some of my erotica stories.
Okay.
So they put those in as prizes in the at least six of the bags or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that got me any extra followers or buyers. I have no idea, but it was a fun little thing anyway.
Yeah, it's good. We do our naughty bingos. That could be something we could look at too with
I
that.
don't print those anymore. I took them off Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Amazon's very particular, especially if you're in Kindle Unlimited. They have to have exclusive rights to it.
Right.
You can't sell it anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've moved the erotica stuff onto that publication I was telling you about.
Right.
So that, yeah, that takes them right off Amazon.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, where was I going? What, for you being an author, what does success look like? What would you determine as being a successful author?
Just, I wish I knew how many people I was reaching.
Okay.
And I get emails occasionally saying that the story really spoke to them. It reflected their own life. It showed their struggles, things like that. I wish I could find out more. I wish
Okay.
people would contact me.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important message for readers out there is that if you read a book and you really connect with it, email the author because we love to hear that stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, because you know it
Yeah.
resonates. And then even giving ideally more positive reviews, but reviews on the books too, because then you hear it as well. Plus, it's public, and
Yeah.
then more people can come across the material
Yeah.
because,
And not just a star rating, actually say something.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And that's, I've been even like, for all of our stuff on YouTube, I'm like telling people, okay, you need to like it, comment, like, because then more and more people are going to
Hmm.
see it with if you're engaging with it. To those listening, make sure to comment and like it.
Yeah,
All
and
of our content.
even a bad review is a good review because somebody will give you a bad review, and they'll explain exactly what they didn't like. But some other person might come along and go, "Oh, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for."
That's true.
Just say something, and also it gives us an idea how things are resonating with readers.
Totally. Because yeah, if you get
Um,
nothing, you're like, okay, obviously this isn't
yeah,
resonating. But if you get even a bit
yeah.
of good at some, or mostly good, but some bad, and yeah, I agree with that for sure.
The
So
second book in the series there was an element of daddy kink in it, and some people really didn't like that. So they let me know. But again, somebody else is going to read that and go, "Oh, wow, great."
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that in reading it. What was I lost my train of thought there? Don't know. It's gone.
Okay.
It was something on the books and reviews and all of that. But anyway,
Hmm.
so in your journeys as an author, do you ever have those days where you just want to give it up and do something else?
I took a 2-year hiatus.
Oh, okay.
I
What?
stopped for 2 years.
Tell me a bit more.
I was just so burnt out. I just thought I can't do this right now. And I was things in my life, like my personal life, were just up in the air, like things with the kids and stuff. Everything was so stressful. I was just like, I can't even focus. So I just thought, no. So I stopped for 2 years and I just played games on my computer. I just thought, nope.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's right. You need a break from things to reset and rebuild your creativity because
Yeah.
it's you need that spark. Otherwise, you're just putting garbage in, garbage out kind of thing, right? And if
Yeah,
you're not putting
exactly.
out high quality stuff, people aren't going to want to read it, and
Mm.
then it just tarnishes your brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, let's flip into my lightning round. So again, don't think about the answer. You don't need to explain it. Just whatever comes first. So, would you rather have a dinner at a fancy restaurant or a home cooked meal?
Home cooked.
Okay, and how about either multiple short vacations or one long vacation in a year?
Multiple short ones.
Okay. How about a preference over Mexico or Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Okay. Would you rather go out to and watch a movie or listen to live music?
Music.
Okay. I was gonna say if you picked movie, your daughter might not be very pleased.
Yeah. That's
Pardon me, for
okay.
those who don't know, her daughter is a very talented musician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vancouver or Kelowna?
Vancouver. Oh, do I have to pick?
Normally I ask these people because you're the first one from Victoria I've had. It's usually Vancouver, Victoria.
Uh,
So I changed it for you. How about
no.
Montreal or Toronto?
Montreal, I think. I've never been there.
Okay. Are you more of an early riser or do you like to sleep in?
I like to sleep in, but I don't
If you had the choice of either option, would you rather drive to someplace or fly?
fly.
Okay. Audiobooks or real books?
Real books.
I agree. I appreciate having your real books to actually have when I read.
Good.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Do you love popcorn?
Popcorn doesn't love me.
Fair enough. Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Yes.
Okay. And these are just like short answers. What's your favorite type of music?
I'm just into I like pop music. Just
Yep.
whatever comes out that's new,
Yeah.
I'm all over it.
Yeah. Favorite time of year?
I like this time of year. I like fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite place to travel for vacation?
I don't take vacations.
If you were, where would you like to go?
Scotland.
Okay. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
place. I know we talked a little bit about you took 2 years off there, but how do you typically handle, like on a day to day, work life balance and self care?
I have no work-life balance. I have no self-care.
Okay.
I think it's the plight of an author. I spend 8 to 10 hours under my computer,
Yeah.
just focused. My wife has to poke me to go, should you eat something?
Yeah. Maybe go to the bathroom
Yeah, exactly.
before you have an accident or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any like other entrepreneurs out there that inspire you to work or authors could be?
Yeah, I've actually, coming to Victoria, I've made quite a few author friends. Um, one in the queer community that writes queer books, one that writes horror stories,
Okay.
and then I belong to an organization called the Vancouver Island Romance Authors, and I've just recently become the treasurer for them.
Okay.
And we get together occasionally, and I have people that critique my work from the group as well.
Yeah.
Since I've moved here, I've had a lot better connection with other authors.
That's great. That's great to hear. Do you have any favorite books or podcasts that you enjoy?
I would like to recommend an author for
Sure.
people that are into male romances. His name is Riley Nash, and I just love everything he does.
Okay.
Just fabulous author.
I think that was one you recommended to me a week or two ago,
It
wasn't it?
is.
Yeah. I was like,
Yes.
the name sounds familiar. I know I marked some books on Kindle, so I find
Hmm.
those are sometimes it's nice to just right before bed flip through a couple book or a few pages on stuff. And
Yeah.
what advice would you give another queer individual who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur, or it could be an author in your case, either mix of those?
Just follow your passion.
Yeah.
Just go for it And yeah, you just have to trust the universe and just go for it and
Yeah.
see what happens. And what happens too is you might start with on one path and then something else will blindside you from the side there and you'll change direction a little bit and it might end up being better than you originally planned for.
Right.
You just have to watch for opportunities and people that come into your life, see what they're doing and just see how it fits in.
Absolutely. Said. How do people find you online?
The best place to go, if you go to my Instagram, which is author.leighjarrett, Leighjarrett, and on there is my link tree link
Perfect.
and my profile there. So if you
Yeah.
click on that, you can find all my author stuff. You can join my ARC group, which is my advanced reader copy group. So you get free books in exchange
Okay.
for, not in exchange for, you can do a review or not do a review, it's your choice.
Right.
But, and sign up
You're
for
really
my
hoping to get
newsletter
reviews.
and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, but I can't ask for reviews. That's one of the things that
Oh,
Amazon
okay.
is very clear about is I'm not allowed to exchange reviews for books.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Then they're not forced.
No,
So,
no.
no, makes sense. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of your journey or being an author that we didn't touch on?
Check out this Sailor Sea Society series
Yes.
for
Yeah.
sure. This is the best series I've written. Characters are complex. It took me forever doing the character profiles for these books.
Yeah.
Just their childhoods, their history, their fears, their wants, their needs, their just aspirations, everything went into planning out these characters. So they're very fully developed
Yeah.
characters, and I think that really adds to the series.
Yeah, and I can agree because you dig into autism, talk about disabilities in multiple different ways from
Hmm.
body. I'm trying to think what the right terminology is for Liam.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't think he
well,
has an eating disorder, but just very obsessed with how his body is. And so, whatever that fancy word that we typically use for that, you got age differences. Yeah, you touch on a lot of topics that are common in, especially within the gay, not just the gay male community, but very common within the gay male community. So, I think it's great. And
hmm
that's one of the things I've really enjoyed with reading in it. And it's an easy read. I find I go through spurts, and I think I've told you this before, like, the first
hmm
book I'd happened to be house sitting, and so I had a lot more kind of free time on my hands, and so I just sat some
Right,
mornings, and I think I read it 3 days. And the second one
right.
took me longer, but there was a lot going on, and I'm like, I wanted to be able to sit down and chill and just read. So I know with the holiday season coming up, my life winds down a bit. That's
Yeah,
typically when I do a bit more reading. But I'm only 2 chapters in, but I'm enjoying the
yeah,
newest one so far.
yeah. And then the fourth one, the last one, it's a
Oh, right, the
romance. So
last one's
there's,
a throuple, right?
yes. So that, again, doing the character profiles and matching their needs and everything was, it took me 2, 3 weeks just to
I
do the
bet.
character profiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can tell it's well thought out in that part because of how deep you dig into the characters in the books. But we're going to close off, but
Okay.
don't leave the app right away because I need to make sure everything is
Yeah.
uploaded afterwards. So I just want to I always like to
Okay.
remind people don't leave. We're going to pretend like we're
Sure.
closed out, but we're not actually closed out.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Taysha. It's always a pleasure to connect and chat with you, and looking forward to finishing up Liam here as well as the fourth in the series. So much for being on the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You bet, anytime. All right, and that's all for this episode of Queerprenuers Unleashed. We'll see you next time.